Yeah. Welcome back, everybody, to the X Factor Sports Talk. I'm joined, as always, by my two co-hosts, Troy Coomer, Kayla Wilson. We're not stars. We're not superstars. We are X Factors. We're changing the game. Boys, how we doing?
Doing great. How are you, Caleb?
In the words of one of the greatest rappers of all time, I'm way up. I feel blessed.
Let's go. Way up. He
I
feels
feel
blessed.
blessed. Let's get it.
Well, man, been a rather it was a long day today, in my opinion, man. Just one of those days, kind of dragged, kind of got rolling, but now we're here, excited to get going. But I got some sad news. Uh, NFL season's over. Sad day for sports fans, but for those off-season lovers like myself, there's always stuff to look forward to. With the draft, free agency right around the corner, transaction windows will start opening up, and just a few things to look forward to here. We actually have an off-season, thing that we're going to be brewing up here for the NFL side of things. Caleb will probably be sitting that one out, but
yeah, I'll tap that one out. I'll sub out.
We are brewing something up with an NFL talk for the free agent moves, draft, fantasy football, prep, all that fun, cool stuff that we've been in the works on. And then, of course, March 17th, free agency begins. And then April 29th through May 1st, one of the greatest sports events, the NFL draft. But real quick shout out, Tom Brady. This will be the last time we kind of talk about it on the X Factor Sports Talk network for a little bit. But Tom Brady, man, give him his flowers, give him his roses, because that man.
Give that man anything he wants.
Yeah,
anything.
Number 7, he's the GOAT. If you say otherwise, and an interesting topic I kind of want to throw out before we dive into the NBA would be, what is y'all's opinion? And this is just an opinion. We might dive deep into this on the NFL side of things. But what is y'all's opinion on renaming the Vince Lombardi Trophy to the Tom Brady Trophy?
I mean, it's something you can consider once he retires.
Who knows who is Vince Lombardi? Anybody know? Yeah, Caleb, you don't know. Fred? I mean, NFL historians probably know.
Yeah.
But the average Joe, like a lot of people,
like me, literally me,
have no idea who Vince Lombardi is. If you assess the name Tom Brady with the trophy, people will be like, "Oh, that's a Super Bowl trophy."
Yeah.
Like, because Tom Brady just symbolizes winning, but again, that's for a conversation.
Vince is one of the best coaches of all
I think,
time.
but it's one of those things. Like when he retires, you got to have something. You have to have something to.
Something has to be named after him.
What's the NBA trophy? Larry O'Brien. How many people know who Larry O'Brien is?
That's what I'm saying. They like the Bill Russell Trophy, something where
Kobe
they
Bryant
can
trophy.
assert, like they did that for the All-Star, yeah.
Okay.
But like there are things that you can just associate like with a mind of an average Joe to a league, and that's just something I kind of want to throw out there.
I completely get it, because it's like me, like I like football, but I don't cover it like you two. It's like, yeah, I've heard Vince Lombardi's name for as long as I've been around, but it's like I couldn't tell you who the guy is.
My dad, quick shout out Steve Coomer, he actually threw that out to me, was like, yo, you need to kind of throw this out there and see what they think, because it makes a lot of sense when you start thinking about it. Like the guy, man. Like the new generation pushing through, like they'll know Tom Brady. They don't know who Vince Lombardi is. Just something to kind of feast on for a little bit. Yeah. So we actually did the quick fire game prior to the Super Bowl. And the best record was me and Fred. We both went 4-3. If I would have picked the Buccaneers, I would have went 5-2. But we can't all win here. But yeah, 4-3. Nobody predicted Tom Brady to be the MVP, which was something I found pretty strange. But yeah, Caleb, you went 2-5. You struggled a little bit. But Patrick Mahomes was on the run pretty much the whole game. Yeah. He didn't have much help. Even whenever he was making those incredible throws, he would, the receivers would either drop him, they hit off their face mask. Nobody was there to make a big play for him and to help him. And then, probably the most entertaining part of the game was whenever a streaker ran onto the field. So, I mean, more power to the game. But, hey, you kind of, in a sense, Fred, kind of predicted I don't know if you would have predicted this exact dominance, but you kind of saw, like, the defense coming into play more so. Kind of talk about what you saw and kind of, how they, held Patrick Mahomes, who seemingly cannot be held down, kind of held him down on Sunday.
Well, I want to start this by prefacing the fact that Patrick Mahomes is hurt, and he looked hurt. He was limping, so
he's having surgery on Wednesday.
Man, I looked at the Buccaneers team, like their defense, and I was like, dude, they've got some dogs everywhere. I mean, all 11 positions, there's somebody who can make a play. And I looked at Kansas City's beat up offensive line, and I was like, they're going to get to him. And that secondary is going to make a lot of plays, which they did. The matchup, I just felt like they matched up really well. I feel like nobody was looking at their defense. And everybody's like, oh, it's going to be offense. But man.
But I mean, that Tampa Bay offense was rolling. And, you know, a lot of people thought that even though if Tampa Bay's offense was rolling, that the Chiefs would somehow be able to keep up just because they have elite playmakers, you know, all across the board. But like I kind of alluded to earlier. What's up, Caleb?
Go ahead. You can finish.
Like I kind of alluded to earlier, like none of their playmakers really made that play.
Yep.
That opened up the field.
It just seemed like nobody showed up other than Mahomes. You know what I mean? Like I felt like Travis Kelce just did not look like he was into it at all.
And he still had over 115 yards.
Yeah, like I mean, he just had like a blank look on his face the whole time. Where it's like,
and they caught a moment where he hugged Brady at the end of the game, and he said, "I just kind of had a feeling you were going to get this one." It's like, so you're coming into the game with a feeling.
Yeah.
That you're not winning, pretty much. And it's just like, okay.
That's how they all looked.
I know.
This game was like a boring Super Bowl because it's like when it comes down to it, like you want the Super Bowl to be exciting and like high scoring and lots of highlight plays. But at the same time, like I enjoyed watching, dude, the defense for like Tampa Bay's defense was so elite. Like to make that dude run literally all night long, to not give up a
almost
touchdown.
500 yards in the backfield. He ran around.
Dude, like he was like I feel like I was watching me play Madden when I was like 8 years old again, like with like Michael Vick, like taking off as far as I could to throw it, like stuff, like just crazy stuff. Like their defense was like elite, and making him like on the run the entire time. I mean, he still played super well. Mahomes did, but it's like, man, like their defense was elite that night.
All this boils down to people need to listen to my takes more often.
God, but. Chiefs fans kind of felt what it's like to be a Bengal fan for one night and one night only. Like seeing your quarterback run for his life was.
Kansas City fans, you'll be back.
Yeah, seriously.
You'll be back.
Nothing to worry about. Patrick's gonna, rehab, rest his.
If I learned anything from this Super Bowl, though, it's do not trash talk the greatest of all time when it comes to something like that.
I told everybody, listen. I said, do not bet against Brady. Please do not.
Yeah, I didn't want to bet. I picked the Chiefs to kind of swerve because I thought, whatever. But like, dude, you cannot go out there and run your mouth to a guy that's been there 7 times or however many times already.
And he's cooking you. You're down
I'm pretty sure at one point I saw Brady. Like I'm pretty sure, and I could be completely wrong, but I felt like when I was watching, like I saw him look at him and said, "All right, I'm gonna start throwing your way." And he did it, and it's like, man, do not why? Like, what are you thinking?
Dude's almost 20 years older than him.
And something that the Buccaneers said is really impressive is that everybody in the Super Bowl that scored for them wasn't on their team before Brady, and so like you have to see the Brady effect, and he only I think his salary cap only hits 15 million on the cap. So you're talking about one of the most elite quarterbacks hitting your salary cap, but he has obviously so many bonuses and incentives that make that go up to now 28.3 million. But now Mike Evans is talking about giving some money to the team so that they can continue to build and keep some guys around.
I don't see how they can't do it again next year. You know what I mean?
Other than Tom legit starting to eventually deteriorate, that's the only thing in my eyes. But
can I give one shout out?
Yeah, quick shout out.
I'm gonna give a shout out to a guy Caleb just mentioned, Antonio Brown. Had for you, kid.
Yeah, he's been through a lot, and to see him score, nobody thought he'd be here this year. Mm-hmm. And so, that kind of puts a wrap on the NFL segment. Again, we will have that own little talk where it'll be the hub for the NFL. We're going to kind of move towards, we're going to try to add a couple segments into this, obviously with the NBA, and we might start aiming towards a little bit of college basketball. We're not too sure how far we want to go in there and all that, but we're just kind of tossing with some ideas. So throw down in the comments if you guys want to see anything, want us to talk about anything, because
might cover some pro wrestling. Who knows?
Yeah, dude, WWE might be talked about. You never know what we
MLB's coming up.
Yeah, MLB. We could really start swirling some ideas.
That's mine.
We will transition now to the NBA, and a new sort of game that we want to play is called the NBA Panic Game. And I'm going to give these guys two teams and then one situation Where is it time to panic or is it time to not panic? Like, are they going to, and that sort of thing. So first up, Caleb, I want to direct this question to you. Should the Dallas Mavericks, who are currently 11-14, is it their time to panic or should we be patient?
I've gone back and forth with this for like the last week. You know how big of a fan I am of the Mavs, and they obviously got out to some early struggles. But they're like, I mean, they're 3 games below 500, and like they're only like 2.5 games. If I read that, if I can't remember, like I looked at it today, but I can't remember exactly off the top of my head. They're only like 2 games like out from the playoff spot.
Yeah.
So it's like, right now I say no. Don't. It's not time to panic yet. You have Luka, who's arguably a top 5 talent, top 10 talent easily. You have Kristaps Porzingis, who's starting to come back into his own a little bit. I heard a lot of Mavs fans complaining about him, really like arguing that I don't see why he shouldn't be traded type stuff. Like you can look at the numbers, like Luka's averaging almost 28, 9 and 10. Like he's almost averaging a triple double. He shoots really poorly from the 3-point line, and I think if he can bring that up, dude, it's like God, good Lord,
Yeah,
like that's scary.
And just to kind of real quick chime in, they're 2 games out of the 8 spot. 2 games.
Exactly. Yeah. And like Porzingis, I watched them play. I watched the majority of their game last night. They played the Timberwolves. Granted, it's the Timberwolves, but like Porzingis was looking really good at points, like really, really good. He's averaging 20 points, 1.8 blocks, and 8.6 rebounds, shooting 46% from the field. So it's like if he can stay consistent, that team can really start to turn around. And on top of all like the missing players they've had due to COVID and stuff like that, like Josh Richardson was a big bring in for them this offseason, and he's only played 16 games. And so it's like if you can get guys to stay consistent, I think they can start to take a turn and really perform higher and higher as the season goes on. So my answer is no.
Okay, so Caleb does not think it's time for the Mavericks to panic. Fred, are you with him, or are you kind of have your own sort of? What do you think?
I'm 100% with him.
Yep.
I mean, you got, like he said, you got a top 10 player in the NBA. You got Kristaps Porzingis, who's a world talent. Like, dude can play out of his mind when he wants to. And dude, the West is so jumbled right now. They win 5 straight, be a 5 seed, 4 seed. You know what I mean? Like, You just be patient, man. You have a guy who can carry you for years to come, and I think he'll do the same this year. I think they'll turn it around.
Yeah,
they have good role players. I love Timmy Hardaway. I think he's a problem.
Tough.
I love him. I love Josh Richardson.
You're a big Trey Burke fan too.
Yeah, Trey Burke.
dude, I like Trey Burke.
Like I heard somebody talk about, oh, like what's a team who needs a piece? And they're like the Mavs, and I'm like, I don't think so, man. Like, I mean, a piece wouldn't hurt, but I don't think it's necessary. I think they just need to hit a stride, and they'll be all right.
Maybe more of a true 5 could help them. But I'm not sure what that market would look like.
I think do you think
it's so weird though. Speaking from it like an actual Mavs fan's perspective, like I like all of their guys. Like I think all of them they fit that culture really, really well. And it's like if I don't know if I agree or not that they don't need a piece though to to get over the hump, because it's like I don't know. It's so tough. But
every team needs a pick. You know, everybody will take somebody.
So it's like, but like, who do you get rid of to bring in a guy in? Because I just feel like all these guys fit together so well.
I would almost argue like moving off of a guy like Trey Burke and then gaining a guy like a Trevor Ariza, almost where like you get a little bit of defense and shooting. And then you get, because they have Jalen Brunson.
But I feel like they already have like a Trevor Ariza type guy in Dorian Finney-Smith.
I agree.
I mean, yeah,
maybe
but
not as effective shooter. But
one thing I saw that really kind of makes me iffy on the Mavs is that their point differential is negative 2.4. And while they give up a lot of points.
I think and that comes back to the culture. Like their coaching staff's trying to get these guys to buy on defense, doing
a great coach.
But they haven't been healthy. I mean, Josh Richardson's an elite defender.
They're doing a defensive player of the game after every win and giving these guys like a WWE title belt to try to get these guys to buy in.
Yeah, I mean, they gave up 116 points to the Hawks, 147 to the Warriors, 134 to the Warriors, and then 122 to the Timberwolves. That's their last 4. But granted, they've gone 3-1 in those 4. But yeah, and is Kristaps Porzingis, is he good enough to be a second star? That's my thing. I think he's a great 3. If he's your third, I think it's fantastic. But for Luka to be because Luka is unbelievable. Like kid can play. I watched the Mavericks and the Warriors. It's unbelievable. Like this kid is just it's unreal how
it doesn't make sense.
And it's so quick. How quick he picked up on the NBA game and in America.
Oh, dude, I mean, you're playing as a pro since you're 13. Like,
I know, but the American game is a little bit different.
No,
and
yeah, I agree.
It just he stepped into it and was just like, okay, I'm a top 10 player. Like it was just like boom, boom.
I watched him his rookie. I went to Dallas and watched him his rookie year, and he took on. It was hard that when Harden was in Houston, dude. Like he stepped up to the challenge, and he's always been like that.
He's unbelievable. But
the game winner that night.
I think getting a more true five will help them defensively because then they'll have an anchor in the paint. So while that would be he's not really a defensive anchor, but that would be tough.
They don't need another big man that's going to be iffy on if he can stay on the court or not.
Yeah, I mean, I love Kato, but I don't know if it's time to panic. But I think you're closer than you're not.
You're definitely it's in the back of your mind for sure.
And I think
just can't panic with Luka on the team.
I'm pretty sure I don't have the stats in front of me. I did last week. They were like in the bottom half of the league in 3-point percentage, like pretty far down. Like Josh Richardson is shooting 29% from the three so far. Like he's going to pick that up. Luka, I don't know if he can pick it up, but like in Kristaps is shooting 33%. You hope he can bring that up.
Yeah, they're shooting 33% as a three as a league. I mean, as a team.
You would expect like with shooters like Trey Burke, Tim Hardaway Jr., Josh Richardson, Maxi Kleba, guys like that. Like you would expect them to pick it up as the season goes on.
Yeah, but like you said, I'd kind of be hovering over the panic button. And the real question to me is the Porzingis. Like you really have to keep your eye. I love Porzingis. I think he's a very solid player. But I think they need a number two. And Porzingis may prove me wrong. But yeah, I would kind of side with the maybe. Maybe it's time to panic. Maybe, but I don't think it's a solid no, and I don't think it's a solid yes. I think it's like a maybe.
That's fair.
Maybe. So for the second team, I think this is an easier one. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Fred has a different opinion. Maybe Caleb does. But Fred, is it time for the Wizards to panic?
Yes.
They should be
Code Red. Like this is
sound the alarm. Like
they are having a panic attack as we speak.
Yeah, like they're bad.
I'm literally looking at their roster right now, and I'm just like,
I would say okay. I will say like I think everybody in the world would say yes, it's time to panic, but I don't know if it's like full-fledged like oh my god, or if it's kind of like yeah we're panicking, but maybe something can start to turn around a little bit. Like Bradley Beal will not be traded this year. I'll go ahead and say it. He will not be traded this year.
I think he wants to be.
No, he doesn't want to be at all. Like he's come out and said it. So
save Bradley Beal.
I agree. Like I do want to see him out.
Get them a big man. Holy cow.
Thomas Bryant was playing well for them before he got hurt. But I just like it's time to panic. Their defense is atrocious, but it's like I just don't know if it's like as crazy as everybody would believe right now. Like
the contracts are weird too.
You can hope that like Bradley Beal can continue his hot streak and Russell Westbrook can pick it up, and a couple of their role players can start to play better. That like maybe they can make their way into like the not like 10, 9, 11 seed type area to maybe make it into the play-in tournament. But I mean, obviously the answer is yes, it's time to panic because something needs to change.
The Wizards are like, to me, like whenever I watch them, because I actually watch some Wizards games. I love Bradley Beal. I'm high on him. He's a top 10 player in the league, in my opinion. Like I love Bradley Beal. They always take one step forward. They beat the Heat. You're like, okay. And then the next night they lose to the Heat by 30. And then you're like, okay. And then they lose to the Hornets by 30. Ooh. And then you're like, okay. And now they beat the Bulls by 4. You're like, okay. And then they murder the net, or they don't murder the Nets, but they come back on a heroic play towards the end of the game.
When I saw them come back and beat the Nets, I in the back of my mind, I thought, okay, maybe they'll start to turn it around a little bit.
Yeah. And I think that's what everybody was kind of thinking. And then now it's like, okay, they're very mediocre. Like they are so mediocre.
Their defense is so bad.
They're not mediocre. They're worse than mediocre. They're terrible.
Well, I think they've kind of leveled out because at the beginning of the year they were awful. Now they're just like
When
bad
you
and
have Bradley
good.
Beal, you're not like you're not terrible. You're mediocre. Like
Bradley Beal, dude, he goes through halves where he looks like he doesn't want to play, and then he'll just come out in the second half and ball. Like
Bro,
it's
their
so
defense is so
stupid.
bad. It's not. They
It's
give the
really
most points in the
stupid.
league.
Them and the Nets are putting up historically terrible numbers on the defense side of the ball. Like it's kind of like, and I think that's what's kind of crazy to watch with them is just how bad they are. And so yeah, I think we
Davis
all agree.
Bertans, like that's one of the worst contracts.
Yeah, I was going to mention that.
Dude, that how they ended up with him is just hilarious. How the Spurs moved him to the Wizards for practically nothing because they thought they were getting Marcus Morris, and then Marcus Morris backed out of the contract and then signed with the Knicks.
Yeah.
So the Spurs have nothing. And
What are they giving Bertans like 4 years, 80 mil or something like that?
who, the Spurs?
It's like
The
no, the
Wizards
Wizards.
paying him that much.
I think it's like 4 or 5 years, 80 mil.
Dude wins a
Yeah, it's
3-point
stupid.
contest. They go or
Yeah,
whatever.
Dude can shoot over 45% from three, and they're like, "Oh my god, where's
Yeah,
the
but it's
range?"
like I've all the games out because I've watched I would say a fair amount of their games. It's like some of the shots he's taking. It's like, dude, no, like
He has
stop.
too much confidence.
Like he's taking
really
like
does.
a pump fake, like 2 dribbles over, and like a weird looking.
He'll do a fadeaway in somebody's grill.
Like, I understand you're one of the best 3-point shooters, but there comes a point where it's like I would rather you not take 8 of those kind of shots and set up better shots for either yourself or Bradley Beal.
Yep.
Like,
All right. Enough about the Wizards. Let's.
Yeah, that's the most love they'll get all year.
Yeah. I'm tired of talking about them. They're exhausting. In my opinion, real quick before we switch gears, buy into the rebuild. Get rid of Brad. Get what you can for Russell Westbrook. Get your bag of chips. Get you a vending machine for out in the lobby.
Get you a bag of chips.
Yeah, get what you can for Westbrook. I'm not sure what, maybe second round pick from like the Magic or something. Grab something, and just buy into the rebuild. Let Denny Avendija like grow as a player. Let Rui Hachimura really start to grow. Let some of these young guys start to kind of take their fold because Denny Avdija is a playmaker, and he's not going to be good next to Brad Beal and Russell Westbrook. Like
I will say, if I am the Wizard, if I'm their front office, I get rid of Scott Brooks immediately. But I hold on to Bradley Beal and Russ for at least the end of this year and of the beginning of next year because you're this bad now. You keep Bradley Beal and Russ, you can bring in a really good draft pick maybe.
Yeah. But again, they've drafted the last 2 seasons Rui Hachimura, who hasn't looked great, and Denny Avendija, who is like,
this
okay.
draft class, like if you have a high pick, I think you have a better odds of bringing in a better player.
You all are higher on this draft class than I am.
I'm not that high. I've made that very clear.
But I mean, I would just say give it like 35 games next year, and if it's it, then yeah, blow it up completely.
Yeah, and if you have a chance to get a Jalen Suggs or Cade Cunningham, jump all over it.
Exactly. Yeah,
take that opportunity. But then again, I think the pick of Denny Avendija, again, let's just switch gears. I'm done talking about the Wizards. I'm done. So on to question number 3 here. Is it time for Steph Curry's title hopes in terms of can he win with the Warriors? Can he win another championship with the Warriors? Is it time to panic for Steph, or is it time, to be a little bit patient, wait till see Clay come back with this new core, or is Steph? Have we seen the last of Steph in the NBA championship? Caleb, I'll go to you since I went to Fred first last time.
Yes, he won't win another one in Golden State.
In Golden State,
no. If he wants
to
win,
do you think he gets moved?
I don't think they trade him. I think if he wants out, he's gonna. I mean, I don't know what his contract's like. What's he got? Like 2 years left?
Oh, it's insane. I think he's got 2 or 3.
I mean,
he's got a nice contract.
Oh yeah, but
about $50 million a year.
He will not win another one in Golden State. Draymond's declining rapidly.
No, put some respect on Draymond's name.
Offensively, as a scoring threat, completely gone. Clay, you don't know what he's going to look like coming back. James Wiseman's not what people had really hoped for him. Can you really rely on Andrew Wiggins? Can you really rely on Kelly Oubre? I just think when it comes down to it, he won't win another one.
Let me slide in here real quick. Draymond Green is the most disrespected All-Star I've ever seen in my
No,
life.
I think he's a good player, but you have to
He's
admit,
not declining rapidly.
if you look at how good he was 2 years ago,
I think he is.
yeah, exactly. If you look
Maybe
at how
he's
good,
not scoring as much. Dude's playmaking better than
that's
he's
what
ever played.
offensively declining means.
It's not all about scoring on the offensive end. Dude play makes better than anybody on that team.
yeah, but they're going to need him to be a scoring threat if they're going to take the next step.
With Wiggs, Oubre,
Wiggins
Klay
isn't good. Oubre's
Thompson,
not good.
Steph Curry, and James Wiseman, he's going to need to score the ball.
Wiggins and Oubre are so mediocre.
I would say he would need to score more than he ever did on any other championship teams before.
Wiggins and Oubre are not going to get you to an NBA championship.
No.
Those cannot be your team guys.
It's Klay and Steph's job to get you there. I'm not saying Wiggins and
but
Oubre are going to lead you in scoring.
Yeah, but they're not going to help them in any way.
I'm just saying, if you look at
I'm not
Draymond's,
going to help them.
if you look at
Not as much
Draymond
as other
for the
guys
last
would,
2
no.
years, he has declined. Like, yeah, he's picking it up now. He was horrible last year.
So let's look at some of the role players from the 2016-2017 Warriors.
Okay.
Andre Iguodala. Would you take Oubre or Iggy?
Iggy.
Iguodala, not even hesitate.
Sean Livingston or Andrew Wiggins?
Sean Livingston.
Oh my.
Well, okay.
Okay, can we also preface the fact that Steph, Dre, and Klay were all healthy and 4 years younger?
I would take Wiggins.
I would take Wiggins too. And
I would not.
I mean, let's look at tonight. Just for a little, Draymond Green had 6, 7, and 11 on 3 and 4 shooting.
Who'd they play?
He's not meant to score. They played the Spurs. Spurs are a very solid team. Okay, Steph obviously 32. Kelly Oubre had 12 and 10. Wiggs had 14. And I mean, Pascal, who's been a solid bench player, like they have the brewing of I can't believe what's happening. I think Steph Curry will be right in the Western Conference Finals next year. I think that there's no dominant threat outside of the Lakers to the Warriors coming right back into the fold. I think that they would be automatically the second best team in the West as soon as they got healthy. And if Klay Thompson is 80% of himself, which everybody was talking about, Kevin Durant, and obviously they're two separate players. Klay Thompson does not rely on attacking the basket. Okay, let's make that very, very clear. We're talking about a guy who spots up and is an elite.
He doesn't spot up. He literally.
He had 62 points on 12 dribbles.
Yeah, but he's running off a ton of screens. That's not spotting up.
He moves without the ball. He's one of the best off-ball. I've argued he's the best off-ball player we've ever seen.
Okay, but do you see how you're contradicting yourself right there? You're saying he's
Steph
the best.
Curry's the best off-ball player we've ever seen.
You're saying he's the best off-ball player.
He is the best off-ball, and he's probably one of the best catch-and-shoot guys.
Okay, but you just okay. No, okay. I'm just you contradicted yourself there for a minute. That's fine. Yeah. I'm saying you're saying
he can move. Like I understand the caution with Achilles, ACL, and being able to run. Like I get that. Like that could be a real issue.
Yeah, but another part of his game is defense. He's a big time defender.
Yeah, I mean,
where you move laterally.
So I mean, here's the thing: is if he could be. No, there's no question he's a great catch and shoot player. But if that's all he can become, so it's like, okay, say he comes off this injury and he's not back to his normal stuff where he can run off those screens and catch and shoot at will. Like if he is just a spot up shooter, like he's
his
way less.
Still makes that.
No, yeah. No, but I'm saying like he's not a threat then because teams literally just have to sit on him and you don't have to worry about it. So I'm saying like there is like you have to consider the fact that if he cannot come back 100%, like how good is he then? Because it's like if he cannot run off all those screens, like
I think what happens whenever a guy gets hurt, and this happened with Kevin Durant a little bit, people forget just how good and talented they are and how well they rehab and how well they're starting to come back from these, quote unquote major. John Wall, for instance, who we have seen, go through 2 straight years of absolute gruesome rehab and hasn't seen a basketball court. And he's coming, in and being still very explosive. He's probably still faster than 85% of the league and is playing at not extremely high level like he used to, but still a very high level. To where he is still a very solid guard.
Yeah, and I'm not disagreeing with you, but I think you have and it's been like
signs
that.
of the time, fellas.
It's been like that with John Wall. It's been like that with Kevin Durant. It's been like that with all these, like with Boogie, all these guys. Like you still have to factor that in because you do not know with 100% certainty that they're going to come back and be as effective as before.
Calling my shot, Lakers Warriors 2022 Western Conference Finals. It's going to happen, and it'll be a Game 7 thriller.
I disagree.
Dude, the Warrior. I mean, Steph Curry's unbelievable. You give a Splash Brother back, the energy in that building, because fans will start being back. The energy in the building, the new arena they got rolling. Dude, James Wiseman will grow. They'll have a nice top 18 pick this year, somewhere in the top 20. They'll have a pick. They'll be able to get another young guy, and they draft okay. They don't draft great, but they draft okay. And I just think, they're building a nice little team. Pascal off the bench is tough. Brad Wanamaker's a nice role player. And then you get a lot of tough guys in there. I see you down there giving your eyes.
Who?
Fred. Brad Wanamaker is a good role player.
Yeah, Brad Wanamaker is a guy that you can throw out there and trust. Like, he's a good player.
You trust him.
I don't trust him in the playoffs.
I would. He played on Celtics for God knows how long. He played playoff minutes. Like, I would trust him
out for him real well.
over anybody the Nets have right now. I'd trust him over anybody.
What about role player on the Nets, or are we talking everybody on the Nets?
Role player.
The role.
Okay, good. Thank you.
I agree with you. I agree with you. And I realized I said he was declining rapidly. Okay, I take that back.
He's not declining. Yeah, dude. I literally was going to text you guys on Saturday. People need to start putting respect on Draymond Green's name, and I didn't, and I'm glad I didn't. So I got to throw that nugget in. Draymond Green.
But I do think you have to look, like, if you look at how he was 2 years ago to this year, it's like, yeah, there's a little bit of decline, and he's only going to get older. But I just think, like, I just don't think
you're not even mentioning his biggest attribute to the team, which is vocal leadership.
Draymond?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a vocal leader. He's a defensive leader. And James Wiseman is going to be a great rim protector. Draymond Green is an elite perimeter. Now. Well, he's hurt right now.
They started Wiseman. When he was healthy, they'd start him.
Yeah, but I
Kevon Looney came off the bench.
Stopped starting him for a while. It's not important.
Yeah, but Wiseman, dude, I'm actually on the I love James Wiseman, and I like Kevon Looney. He's played in that role for a long time, and he knows the Warriors system. And I think one more good year of drafting in the top 20, Klay Thompson gets healthy. That team's right on track. And
they have the pieces to make a.
They have the Timberwolves pick. People are forgetting they will have a potential top 5 pick in the draft. Like they will have a top 5 pick
now. To make, like, okay, if Klay was healthy,
they could make a splash. Who knows what they would do? They could get
I just don't see them winning a title.
I'm not saying win a title.
But that was the question.
That was the question, but I'm not saying that.
No, but that's what I'm arguing here.
I don't think it's time to throw them away, though. I think they'll be in a position to be battling for one, yes. It's not time to panic.
I'm not panicking. Okay, no, I am panicking because I don't think he'll win.
You're panicking, Fred. Are you panicking?
Nah, he'll be back.
He'll go back to the finals?
Yeah, he'll be back.
Okay. And I'm clearly not panicking.
I think they're going to get a guy in free agency.
I think they're a favorite. I think they're one of the favorites next year. Easy. Easy. I would take that. I would take their team this year with Klay Thompson over anybody but the Lakers.
I wouldn't take them over the Clippers.
I would, without a doubt. I can trust the Warriors in the playoffs. What have the Clippers shown me in the playoffs? Nothing.
Steph does have a reputation of choking in the playoffs.
Please tell me where he choked.
He also has a reputation. He also has a reputation of winning 3 of these. Rings.
And being the first ever unanimous MVP. He's got a lot of reputations.
Yeah,
he has to hold up, and he's also one of the most disrespected players in the game. But that's neither here nor there. I'm not panicking.
Disrespect.
Caleb is. Fred kind of. I feel like Fred's kind of in the middle.
Middle with what?
I think you're kind of like you're being a kind of a hater on them, and then you're also like
not hating. You're
hating on the team, guys. Relax. You're hating on the role players. My Lord,
they've been inconsistent. We're just telling the truth, man. Kelly Oubre has not been consistent, and neither has Wiggins.
I mean, Oubre's starting to find his role, and we're also forgetting that if this team is what it is, and I don't think it will be. I think that Oubre will probably be moved.
He needs to be.
That they will be much more comfortable
to a GQ magazine.
In a spot. So that puts kind of a cap on that segment. That was a pretty fun segment. Yeah. It was fun to kind of get into that. That Warriors segment was fun. I really love the Warriors. They're a fun little team. But let's hop right into the 3-question game with Fred here. And we're going to dive right into our power rankings. And for this one, I kind of wanted to add a few more teams because I feel like the top 5 can get a little, teated. I kind of want to throw a little bit more teams out there. So we're going to do a top 8. It kind of widens it up a little bit and gives, in a perfect world, to give 4 from each conference, but that could be not true. But I have 4 from each conference. But Fred, we're going to start with you. Who are your top 8 teams? We're going to go 8, and then Caleb will give his 8. Then I'll give mine.
I have 4 from each conference as well.
Me too.
At 8, might be a little surprised for you. I got the San Antonio Spurs.
I love the Spurs.
I got San Antonio Spurs, man.
You threw the Spurs in there.
Are we going? Am I going 8 all mine, or are we going like 8?
Nah, just 8, and then Caleb will give his 8.
All right, cool.
All right, Caleb, who's your 8, bro?
I have the Phoenix Suns.
Really?
Yep.
14-9. I really like the Suns. Really do.
Yeah,
Devin Booker has been playing really well.
They're 4th in the West. I just think the other 3 teams ahead of them in the West are better. But I wanted to show them love. So
at 8, I have the Brooklyn Nets. Again, it's just one of those teams. They lost to the Pistons today by double digits. They can't guard me. They can't guard anybody, and it makes them look bad. But I had to throw them in there because they got good players, I guess. But they're my 8. Fred, who's your 7?
I got Brooklyn at 7.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
Brooklyn. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say Brooklyn will never be in my top 5 the remainder of the season. At all.
They won't even sniff my top 5.
I don't care what their record is. Their defense is so, unless they make a significant move, their defense
they have no flexibility.
Their defense is so bad that I will never ever give them a top 5.
My number 7 is the Boston Celtics. They've kind of starting to slip up a little bit. They're playing tonight. I'm not sure if they're winning or not because it's midnight, and I think that they're in like the 3rd quarter, maybe early 4th. But I put them in right here. They're playing one of the best teams in the NBA right now, and I love the Celtics. So yes, I went with the Celtics there. They are 12-10 currently. Fred, number 6.
I got the Jaylen Brown-led Celtics at 6.
I also have the Celtics at 6.
You and Fred converging notes?
No, haven't talked to my guy.
I have the Phoenix Suns at 6. I think that the Suns are very underrated. And with Devin Booker turning things around, Chris Paul, I trust Chris Paul. He just a great leader.
They just don't have a lot of playoff experience. That'll get really scary.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Like, okay, you can okay. Yeah, I mean,
they're young, but Chris Paul's got Jay Crowder just went on a finals run. Chris Paul also was up 3-1 on that Warriors team. Almost ended that. Before he got hurt, obviously.
I love Chris Paul. I literally love watching him play basketball. Like he is like just a like.
And let me tell you, if there's obviously we have a lot of duos in the NBA. If there's a duo that will be sneaky scary in the playoffs, it's Chris Paul and Devin Booker because those two could both go for 40. And unconsciously go for 40.
I don't know if I would say Chris Paul going for 40, but
he had 37 2 nights ago on 14 of 17.
Yeah, but in playoff time, I could see him going for 27 in a 27 and 14 in the playoffs. Like that, I believe in him more with that than a 40-point game. You know what I'm saying?
He's putting up 27. D-Book would be all right.
No, I agree. No, I'm just saying, but I don't believe in Chris Paul to put up 40.
Chris Paul had 34 against Dallas, so that tells you anything.
But yeah, the Celtics are actually down 11 right now. Quick little in there. But Fred, it's against Jazz. Fred, who is the first team in your top 5?
Milwaukee Bucks.
Caleb?
The Bucks.
I also have the Bucks here.
Let's go.
I've written down like positive notes about every team, and I obviously didn't get but the Bucks are shooting 40% from 3,
and they have been rolling.
Chris Middleton playing really well. Giannis named Player of the Week in the Eastern Conference. Here we go. But I mean, I like them, but I just don't know how much I like them. But I mean, they're shooting 40% from 3, like I said, averaging 27 assists per game. So that's pretty solid. I
want to harp on playoff experience. This would be the team to bash them with. The Bucks. DJ Augustine. None.
Yeah, that's why I'm not sold on them.
Yeah, I know.
That's why I'm not sold on them.
I don't think a lot of people are. Number 4, Fred. Who you got?
Got the Los Angeles Clippers here.
I also have the Clippers.
I also have the Clippers. Once we get to the top 5, it gets a lot even with all of us.
Kawhi They just came off they just lost 2 in a row without Paul George. And it's kind of like, for me, it's like I've always been really hard on them. Like we've gone over him before, where it's like they're just so inconsistent. Where it's like you have Kawhi Leonard, who if he's at the best of his if he's like at the best of his career, like he's a top 3 player easily in the league. But it's like, dude, if you can't lead a team, like they lost to the Kings, it's like De'Aaron Fox put work on them.
De'Aaron Fox
he's been playing out of his mind.
That's what I said. But right before we jumped into this call, I said, are we watching De'Aaron Fox start kind of asserting himself into superstardom? And so
it's like, the Clippers are so inconsistent. I think they're like, if they could stay consistent, they're the second best team in the league. But it's like, dude, you can't get that out of them.
Yeah, it sucks because, like you said, they have unlimited potential. But they're another team I worry about their bench depth. They just don't Terrence Mann's cool, I guess, but he's not a guy I want to be trusting. Luke Kennard, another guy, can't guard. Serge Ibaka has looked suspect. Zubac is a solid little player, but just a lot of ifs. It's so weird that they're in the top 4, and we're like, man, but they're like,
they need to make a move.
They do. They need a point guard. They need a point guard bad. They need a guy.
If they can figure it out, I want to throw this out there. Kyle Lowry. They need if they can figure that out. He's got a big contract, but if they can figure that out, he would be would
be hard.
Yeah.
Like they would have to agree to some sort of. It would have to be a buyout situation. But Fred, number 3.
I got the Utah Jazz here.
Okay, one of the hottest teams in the NBA, 19-5. Fred's got them at 3. Caleb, you looked a little bit surprised, so I'm assuming you guys are finally disagreeing. Who you got?
76ers.
So you got the 76ers at 3.
76ers defense is really, really tough, man. They're averaging 6.4 blocks and 9.1 steals.
They're deep.
Top level defense.
And they're deep. They run Dwight Howard, Furkan, Korkmaz.
My only question with them is like Dwight Howard's their backup center, and he's not bad. Like he's a good backup center. But when you're playing minutes alongside Ben Simmons and like Matisse Thybulle, like that's like there's no shooting right there. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like I question like how deep they can go. Like they're gonna have to like adjust the lineups to make sure it works out. But I like them defensively. They're super.
I love the Sixers this year. You were really high on them coming into the year, but I feel like they always get us to buy into the stock early.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, all right, let's roll. It's 76ers time. It's finally time that the process is going to boom. And then they slowly just come back down to earth and then start struggling when it comes to playoff time. And I have the Utah Jazz at 3 as well. 19-5, as I alluded to. I think they're like 14-1 out of their last 15 games, something crazy. But they're playing incredible basketball. That team can absolutely shoot the lights out of the ball. They're a fun team. I love the Jazz. I think they're a sleeper for the playoffs. I love the Jazz. Like I think they're the second best team in the Western Conference. And I really like them. Like I really do. And so number 2, Fred, who you got?
Philadelphia. Got MVP Joel Embiid.
Caleb, you got the Jazz, I'm assuming. Yeah.
Jazz are just really hot. And
I don't think they have the MVP on their team, but it's neither here nor there.
Jazz are really hot. Mike Conley, whose name I might bring up later, he's playing really, really well for him. He did get hurt, so I did debate on putting them at 3.
Dude, Joe Ingles is smooth. Bojan, they just have guys that are just smooth. You said the Jazz, right? Mike Conley. I love Georges Niang. No idea why. Love his game. Georges Niang, little Bogdanovich-esque.
Clarkson's playing really well.
Clarkson off the pine. Derek Favors has bought into that role. Rudy Gobert is Rudy Gobert. You get what you get. Royce O'Neal is becoming a very efficient basketball player.
Oh.
So they're just fun. I also have 76ers along with Fred. I think they're the second best team in the league. And any day if the Lakers go on a little losing spurt, the 76ers would be right at 1 very comfortably for me.
I don't know if I'll ever move the Lakers from the number 1 seed, no matter how bad their record gets, because it's like, dude, they're the best.
They're very good. They are very good. And as a Laker fan, it's very exciting, but also they go through spurts where they just don't want to play. But LeBron James is unbelievable. He's the MVP favorite. Like him and Kevin Durant and then Joel and then Nikola Jokic. Like it's like a 4-man race. And however you want to put him, I don't care. But number 1 needs to be LeBron. What he's doing is unbelievable. And LeBron's unbelievable. So, again, I'm going to go through Fred's top 8 teams. 8, he has the Spurs, 7 Nets, 6 Celtics, 5 Bucks, 4 Clippers, 3 Jazz, 2 76ers, and up top, of course, is the Lakers. And for Caleb, 8 Suns, 7 Nets, 6 Celtics, 5 Bucks, 4 Clippers, 3 Sixers, 2 Jazz, and the Lakers. And then I have the Nets, Celtics, Suns, Bucks, Clippers, Jazz, 76ers, and Lakers. So on to question number 2 here. What is in a matchup in the NBA playoffs that you would get excited about? A potential playoff matchup here that would be most exciting for you, Fred. What you got, man?
76ers, or are we saying like in any part of the playoffs?
Yeah.
76ers and Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals.
That would be good.
Because I think that would be a dogfight.
It would be 2 young duos. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, who've been there, Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid, who have not. It's almost like the veterans against, but they're young.
I think it'd be a 7-game slugfest, bro.
It would be a slugfest.
Like every game decided by 6 or less points.
It would be so tough, man.
Yeah. That would be, and they both have very. Brad Stevens, great coach. It would be
Doc
fun.
Rivers, great coach. They both. I mean, what Doc Rivers has done for that 76ers team is definitely should get some praise because that's. I mean.
Yeah, I would love that. If that's the Eastern Conference Finals,
I'm happy.
I'm a happy camper. Camper.
And then of course, if you and I can give you Western Conference, Clippers, Lakers. I mean, I think everybody wants to see that.
That's what everybody's been praying for now 2 years.
So, but 76ers Celtics are definitely my answer there.
Okay, Caleb.
So yeah, I had 2 answers here. One of them was a deeper playoff, which was Clippers Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would bring the best. That would bring the best out of LeBron and Kawhi and Paul George and Anthony Davis. I think those 2
especially
teams,
with Jared Dudley's new book that just dropped, where they are bashing Paul George.
Yeah, literally
it's incredible.
I think that would bring the best out of 4 of the top players in the world. But I will go a rematch of what we saw last year, and where the seeding is, I don't know, but I think it could be a first round matchup again, and that's Jazz Nuggets.
That would be fun.
I think so. The Nuggets are 8 right now, and the Jazz are number 1. I expect the Jazz to drop down to potentially number 3, and the Nuggets maybe. So it could. I think it could be either the 3-6 matchup or the 4-5 matchup.
That would be crazy.
But I think you could see you'll see that matchup again. Have Jamal Murray and Donovan Mitchell go at each other. Nikola Jokic, who's playing on another level this year, and the Jazz are going to want payback for blowing the 3-1 lead, and it's just going to be must-see TV again this year. So that's I would be so excited to see that all over again.
Yeah, for those that missed the bubble, for reasons that you shouldn't have, the Jazz Nuggets series was unbelievable. Yeah. You want to talk about, it was probably top 3 series in the playoffs. It was just unreal. Everybody was starting to think Jamal Murray was the next Steph Curry. It was unbelievable. Donovan Mitchell put on shows. It was unbelievable. And that is a matchup. One dream scenario that I really, really want to see is the Trailblazers and Clippers in the Western Conference semifinals. I think that would be so much fun for me because I was high on the Trailblazers coming into the year. I really was. And obviously they're not in my top 8. So, the world has changed since the beginning of the season when I thought, Damian Lillard was going to win MVP and he was going to take the world by storm. Dude, I was ready to sell all my stock. I was ready to bet $100 that Damian Lillard was going to be the MVP. They've kind of fallen a little bit, but dude, that is a matchup I want to see. I think that would be a great semifinal game. Obviously, I've claimed many times I want the Nuggets Lakers again. I think that would be so much fun in the Western Conference Finals. But even if that's a semifinal series, that would be fun.
As of right now, it's obviously, but if the playoffs were to happen right now, it would be the Clippers Trailblazers in the first round.
Yeah, that would be insane. I would feel really bad for the Clippers.
It'd be Nuggets and Jazz right now in the first round too.
Yeah, that series would just be so much fun for me because I love Kawhi Leonard and I love Damian Lillard.
Why the semifinals though?
Because I wanted to be for the West Conference Finals. I wanted to be for a trip to play, hopefully, the Lakers. And I think because, like I said, I was really high on the Blazers. I still am. I think they have a really good team. Whenever they're healthy, they are so good. But can Nurkic stay freaking healthy or can they get another big in there? Because Whiteside really helped them in the playoffs last season. They don't have a Whiteside this year, and Zach Collins isn't getting healthy, and they don't have.
I like Cantor. I really do. I really like
Cantor's playing good.
Hey, Troy loves Zach Collins,
bro.
Dude, people were acting like Zach Collins was like the best thing since sliced bread during that playoff series. Whenever he was hurt, they were like, "Remember, they don't have Zach Collins." It's like, oh, I forgot he was going to make up for this 30-point deficit that they're under. Stupid, man. Yeah. But thanks, Fred, for opening up that because, dude, I texted Fred all the time. I was like, shut up about Zach Collins.
I don't like him either, bro.
Like, what are we talking about? Like,
got a punchable face, man. I don't know. There's like, I just want a face. I really do.
But yeah, so Fred's most exciting potential playoff matchup is the 76ers versus Celtics. That would be incredible. Eastern Conference Finals, 2 young bucks, seeing who can go to the championship would be so much fun. Game 7 thriller. Caleb is the Jazz versus Nuggets, who could be battling for either a first round or Western Conference semifinals. That could be a semifinal game. And then Trailblazers versus Clippers, another game, the series. I think the Clippers could win in 5 or, could sweep them.
Hey, and Dame versus Paul George again.
Yeah, dude, there's just so many little storylines to buy into there. CJ McCollum trying to prove he's the better second star. CJ McCollum's had a really good year. There's just a lot there that I can get behind.
Are you saying he hasn't had a good year, Fred?
No, I'm saying he ain't on PG's level.
Oh, okay.
I think CJ ready. I love CJ. That's a guy, young hoopers. If you're still,
I think it's closer than you would think, Fred. I think it's definitely closer.
I would agree. I think CJ McCollum is very underrated and disrespected. He is so.
I like CJ McCollum. I think CJ McCollum's great, but I just think he's not on Paul George's level.
I think Paul George has to prove what level he's on.
Yeah, Paul George is the most inconsistent top 15
player.
Dude
was an MVP candidate 2 years ago, was pandemic P a year ago. Now he's acting like he's back on top of the world. So we'll see. But for question number 3, in my opinion, this is a very easy question. But you guys may have a different outlook. Is LaMelo Ball the clear rookie of the year? Fred, will rock with you, brother.
It's not even close, yeah. I knew coming in he'd be the best rookie in the league. I mean, he should have been first pick, man.
He's on board.
Anthony Edwards hasn't been good. James Wiseman has been okay, but he's hurt. Manuel Quickly is arguably the second best. I was about to say,
it's probably Melo, Halliburton, Quick.
Yeah, Halliburton. Halliburton's been great too. But yeah, I think LaMelo Ball, he's so good. It's unreal.
Yeah, we're going to kind of talk on LaMelo here to end out the podcast for a little bit. But Caleb, what are your thoughts on the rookie of the year case just right now?
As of right now, yeah, it's clear.
He's unreal.
I think it's not out of question to maybe see him take a slump later on and maybe a guy like Halliburton play better and better. So I think, but like obviously right now it's clear. Last night he played really, really well.
Last 6 games, this dude's averaging 28, 7, and 6 on over 50% from the 3-point line. He's debunking any theories that he can't play, can't shoot, can't do this, can't do that. Because that's all I heard coming out of the draft process and things. Everybody was telling about what he can't do. I'm like, let's focus on what he can do.
He still is shooting 36% from 3. You hope he can.
As a rookie?
No, yeah, I agree. But I'm saying you can hope.
Shooting 36 from 3. I'm happy, Camber.
You want him to bring that up as his career goes on. And
I would agree with that. with that. But to say that's a bad start.
No, I'm not saying that's bad. I'm just saying
that's a career high for some guys.
Hey, he's a smart kid, bro. That dude.
But I think it was clear. I think it was clear from before the season started. Like the media is pushing for LaMelo. Like he has all these highlight plays, and I mean now he's really picking it up. So I think it's clear right now.
Yeah, what he does for that Hornets team, like I think I talked about this last podcast. He is much watch TV. Like if I see a Hornet game on League Pass, I'm watching it. Because Miles Bridges is now way more fun to watch. Miles Bridges is on rim alert. All rims in the country need to be watching out for Miles Bridges because he's coming with a LaMelo Ball pass and he's pulling it out of the air. Malik Monk is fun. Gordon Hayward is fun. Terry Rozier for some reason, fun. These
Nick
guys,
Richards,
PJ Washington.
Has Nick Richards even got any playing time?
He played the other night when they won by about 30.
He looks good on the bench, I'll tell you that.
He's a cutie pie. Love Nick Richards. But yeah, dude, LaMelo Ball just makes this team so great, which leads me into my next. We're going to do a little player focus here. And a question I really want to hit on is LaMelo Ball already, and in a few minutes we're gonna do a LaMelo or game. But I wanted to hit you guys with this question: is LaMelo Ball already a top 10 point guard?
No.
I say yes.
No.
I can name 10 guys right now.
I have 20 names written down that I would take over LaMelo that are point guards, but I think there are 10 clear. 10.
Okay, I want to make this very clear. When I say point guard, I'm not talking about Luka. I held Luka out of it.
Luka's their starting point guard.
Okay, I'd still name 10 guys over him.
Luka is their starting point guard. Luka is a point guard.
You putting Ben Simmons on that list?
No.
Yeah, I didn't go with Ben Simmons. I didn't write Ben Simmons down.
He starts at the 4 for him.
Okay.
I think.
I still take
Ben
10.
Simmons.
They start two other guards. Like that's my thing is they start two other guards. They start Seth Curry and Danny Green. So it's like I don't consider.
I have written out my top 10 list, and LaMelo is firmly in there. I have Steph, Dame, Trey, CP3, Kyrie, De'Aaron Fox, Kyle Lowry, John Morant, and then LaMelo.
Did you say D Fox?
Yeah, D Fox is better than LaMelo.
Okay.
You say Mike Conley?
I would take LaMelo over Mike Conley.
No. Mike Conley brings so much defensively.
So
let me tell you this. Mike Conley was leading the league in plus minus before he got hurt. Leading the league, and
are you taking Drew Holiday as a point guard?
That's a 2 guard.
Are you taking Goran Dragic?
How is Drew Holiday a 2 guard? How is Drew Holiday a 2 guard? He's their starting point guard.
He ain't a true.
Is Dante DiVincenzo their starting point guard?
No.
So
they don't really have a true point guard.
Okay.
Did you say Brogdon?
No, I would take
okay.
LaMelo.
Hold on. You would take LaMelo over Malcolm Brogdon?
Yes, I would.
Oh.
I have a list in front of me.
Brogdon is actually my number 10.
Oh, I don't agree with that to the slightest.
I mean, LaMelo Ball, he creates everybody, makes everybody better. I mean, scores.
I have a list in front of me.
Sells
right?
tickets.
Okay, we're talking about best point guard. Let him spell the most tickets.
I mean, I don't get that. I take that all into concept whenever I'm talking naming. He is a top 10 point guard in this league.
Caleb, what you guys think, bro?
I have a list in front of me right here of point guards, starting point guards. Andrew Holiday, because I considered him a point guard, that I would take over LaMelo Ball.
Go for it.
Kyrie Irving, Trae Young, Luka Doncic, Steph Curry, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, De'Aaron Fox, Drew Holiday,
agreed.
Kemba Walker,
I agree
Malcolm
with that.
Brogdon,
I agree with that.
Kyle Lowry, Dennis Schroeder, Chris Paul, DeJounte Murray, Jamal Murray, John Wall, John Morant, Mike Conley, Damian Lillard, and potentially Colin Sexton. But he's really a 2 guard.
That might have been the biggest bunch of bull jive.
Hold on.
I agree with everything.
Jamal Murray.
Yes. Proven himself in the playoffs.
Jamal Murray.
Proven himself to make a deep playoff run? Absolutely.
And score at will.
He can't score at will. And he
had one good run.
We act like this man is like, a great point guard. Like I was looking at a list earlier to start the season. They had this man ranked number 2 in the preseason playoff rankings or point guard rankings. I'm like, pump the brakes.
That's too much.
That was all Bleacher Report, my guy. Like I'm like, whoa, now Bleacher Report. Like let's relax.
Is Jordan Clarkson's listed as a point guard?
LaMelo Ball easily.
You're telling me you take Jordan Clarkson over LaMelo Ball?
No.
I'm ending this meeting if you say yes, because that is ridiculous. Like, so I'm going to do this LaMelo or game, and I have a feeling I know exactly where this is going now. You guys are going to say every other name. But would you take LaMelo or Russell Westbrook? I'll just say that one.
Westbrook?
I've gone back and forth with this one.
Westbrook?
You would take Westbrook over LaMelo Ball?
Yeah, I don't even like Westbrook. I'd take him over LaMelo Ball.
This season, if we're just taking this season, give me LaMelo.
I'm still taking Westbrook.
You know how much this hurts me because I'm a big Russ fan, but give me LaMelo.
Russ?
LaMelo has. I'm not even going to get into that. Russell Westbrook. Oh, my God.
Russell Westbrook got an MVP, dog.
Good for him. MVPs, I've stated this before.
MVP don't mean
that much.
Okay, but I think it's unfair. That's why I said just to see. I think it's unfair to compare Russell Westbrook's entire career.
That has come into effect because I want to take a guy who's proven something.
But I mean, LaMelo's a
What's
rookie.
he proven he can shoot 3-pointers and brick them off the side of the backboard.
Here's the thing: is like Russ is shooting
stat pad and all that garbage.
He's still averaging 19, 9, and 9. You know what I mean? So that's better than LaMelo. And he's not shooting that much worse than LaMelo, actually. He's shooting a little bit less than from 3 and just barely below on field goal percentage. So it's like I don't think
below. I say he's below.
Okay, yeah, I'm not, but I agree.
And
with
he's
you.
been in the league for 35 years.
It's close.
I mean,
and I don't think
Russ
was the second or third pick in the draft, right?
Russ.
Okay.
Third pick in the draft.
He's already got this team hovering 500. Like, and I'm not saying he's the only piece. So don't give me that look. I'm not saying he's the only piece. Relax. Relax. Like,
Who gave you a look?
I did.
He did.
Okay,
he jumped up off the page.
I popped up real quick.
Yeah, like dude was about to act like I just
committed a crime.
Troy's on fire tonight, bro.
Well, I'm just saying, like,
I mean, LaMelo Ball was
in my opinion, he already contributes more to winning than Russell Westbrook.
Who else you got on that list?
It was Ja, and I already know you guys are going to say Ja. It was
Ja
Jamal.
easily. Oh my God,
that's not even close. Why is he on this list?
And it was De'Aaron Fox. I knew you guys were going to say Fox,
what?
and then Shea.
Yeah,
I
Shea.
think it's very debatable, and you guys.
Dude, LaMelo Ball is unbelievable.
blasphemy,
You guys
bro.
are acting like LaMelo Ball's a bum.
We didn't see him. He's a rookie, bro.
Okay,
If you would even consider
20 games,
taking Jordan Clarkson over LaMelo Ball, you don't know what you're talking about, and that's bottom line. That is the bottom line that I want to hit at.
Depends on what
You
role.
cannot come at me for my LaMelo Ball love because what he does for that team and what he does, like, dude, I'm taking into account. You can take into account your MVPs. I'm taking into account this man is going to make my team one of the most watched. He's going to make my team one of the most
You didn't say what you said. Who's
Most
better?
watch doesn't mean jack squat. Like
Dude, you're saying who's better. We're not saying who can sell more
revenue. He
tickets.
brings in
But
revenue.
that doesn't mean he's a
He's
good
better.
He's
player.
a better
Yeah.
player than all those. Every single one.
You think he's better than Ja Morant?
I would take
You think he's
LaMelo.
better than
LaMelo's long. Dude,
De'Aaron
Ja's
Fox?
been hurt. Like,
Stop.
a lot.
You think,
We
you
talk
think he's
about-
better than De'Aaron
y'all
Fox?
talk
You think
all the
he's better than
time
De'Aaron
about
Fox? If you really think
longevity-
he's better than De'Aaron Fox, then no.
No, I don't think he's better than De'Aaron Fox.
Okay.
I had De'Aaron Fox at 6.
You really think he's better than Ja Morant?
Yes. And I think it's
You
very
need to watch him play then. If you haven't seen Ja
I-
Morant play.
Well, actually, no. I have Ja ranked higher than LaMelo. I do
Okay.
not think he's better.
Jeez Louise.
You would take LaMelo over Shea Gilgeous-Alexander.
That's that.
Close.
I don't get that at
It
all.
is so close.
It is not even
Because I
close.
have
Where's-
Shea and
how is
Malcolm
this close?
Brogdon at 10 and 11.
Yeah,
It is
I think it's
Both of
crazy.
those names are getting all-star consideration this year.
Yeah,
Both
They
of
won't
them.
be all
Malcolm Brogdon's so much better than LaMelo.
But there's a difference between. I don't care if they're going to be one or not. Like LaMelo's
Oh,
not
they're
even
getting
thought of.
talk that they're going to be all stars. We're
Malcolm
sort of taking
Brogdon
that into
is
account.
LaMelo?
Is LaMelo?
I don't know. You
No,
ask
he's
him.
not.
He's
That's
averaging,
short
what,
answer. No.
13
Short
points?
answer. No.
Come on, dude.
Short answer. No.
Come on.
Yeah,
It don't matter.
like you're sitting here saying that it's like no way, man. You're a big fan of DeJounte Murray, and you're gonna take LaMelo over.
I would take LaMelo over DeWante.
Murray had 8 steals last night.
I understand. I love DeWante Murray. I always have.
LaMelo's
I-
averaging 14, 5, and 6. What is this?
Yeah, in
What
his
are we doing?
rookie year. Like
Okay,
this
that's
guy
okay. Then you
is
think it's
about
crazy
to.
when I say Russ is better than him. Like what?
I would say Russ is probably better, but I would still take LaMelo.
Yeah, Russ probably is more skillful right now, but he's also been in the league for 13 years and, has gotten that training. I mean, LaMelo, like, if we're going to sit here and not act like LaMelo is going to be a top 5 point guard in 3 years, like I've said.
Hey, we're not
before.
talking about.
I'm glad you said that because I'm glad you said that because we're focusing on LaMelo right now. Period. I don't think he's a top 10 point guard this year. I think he will be next year
Easily.
and then.
No.
I think he will prove it towards the latter half of next season. But then I think
next year,
he'll
be the most improved player next year.
He'll
He'll average 22, 8, and 8 next season.
It'd be a 6 seed.
Jot it down in your little notepad, boys. We'll come
Be a
back.
6
We'll
and
come
7
back.
seed.
I'll see y'all whenever he's averaging probably more than what I'm giving him credit for. Dude rebounds, dude passes the ball incredible. He has such a feel for the game. He can score at a very high level. Y'all sleeping on Melo.
I'm not sleeping on. I'm giving him
He's
props. He
sleeping
is
on
a
him.
good rookie. I've said that before he got
Yeah.
drafted.
Not just a
He will
good
be
rookie, he's a good player.
But he is not a top 10 point. I don't.
Not even close.
It's up for debate. He's top 20 point guard in the league
Oh
right
my
now.
God, shut up. It's not up for debate.
Yes, it is.
Yes,
100.
it is.
All of those names I named, I would take over LaMelo without
agree.
even thinking about it.
I agree. If you would, dude, Goran Dragic, what are your thoughts on him?
LaMelo.
LaMelo.
Nah,
It ain't close.
Bad.
It's
Okay.
not close.
And I know, like, you hate Kemba. You were a hater of Kemba Walker completely, but like to sit here and say that you would take LaMelo over
I would.
Kemba Walker is
would.
absurd.
No,
Absurd.
it's not.
I
Kemba
can't
Walker
believe you almost
couldn't
said
guard
Ja,
me.
bro. That's
Kemba
LaMelo
Walker
Ball
would-
is little.
Kemba Walker
Kemba Walker's
score-
5'9" and can score.
5'9".
He's about 6 foot. I'm sorry, 5'11".
Oh, that's
There's a big
that's a
difference.
3 inches
Oh,
there.
2 inches? My bad. 3.
2 inches.
He's 5'11".
He ain't 6 foot. You kidding me? Stand
I
up.
think
Let me stand next to him. I'm 6'3". Let me stand up next to him.
Yeah, but he's also one of the shiftiest players in the league.
Cool. So is LaMelo.
Hey,
Okay,
Jalen Brown's
here's
got
what it
30
comes
right
to.
now,
Here's
by
what
the
it comes down to for me when it comes to Kemba or LaMelo. They both couldn't guard each other at all. Kemba Walker
LaMelo's not a slouch on the defense.
Kemba Walker would score circles around LaMelo Ball any
way.
given.
Circles.
Okay, I
Circles.
can't wait for those two to meet up.
Yeah, and watch Kemba destroy him.
Kimba won't do crap.
yeah,
He might
probably
because
won't
he's
guard him.
returning to Charlotte and it's a big emotional game. Blah 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 blue. He wants to prove that he's still the king of Charlotte. Blah 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 blue.
We act like LaMelo's actually going to guard him too. So
LaMelo's not a slouch defender. People, dude,
The
I don't know
Charlotte
what
runs
it
zone,
is.
Don't they? Don't
People
Charlotte-
hated
Charlotte
on
runs zone?
Lonzo's defense coming out of the draft process.
He's a good defender.
Yeah,
People
De'Aaron
are
Fox
now
is a good
hating
defender.
on LaMelo's defense whenever he's a solid, not bad defender. Like he's not a slouch.
Sheesh. I didn't know I was going to come in here and have to defend LaMelo Ball.
You don't have to defend him. You're just
Fred,
talking
would you-
crazy.
John Wall.
John Wall.
LaMelo.
John Wall.
Fred, okay, Troy, you're a Lakers fan. Let me ask you, why would you not take Dennis Schroeder over LaMelo?
LaMelo Ball's playmaking is on a different level than Dennis's.
I love Dennis. Like I'm obsessed with Dennis Schroeder. I think his game is incredible. I think he's a better defender than LaMelo. I really do. But I
you
think
said earlier that part of the offense that is just not scoring. Why then? Okay, offense isn't just passing too.
Right, but he's also putting up 15 and he can create, and you know,
So can Schroeder.
he can't create near as much as LaMelo can.
I
And-
agree.
I love
so
Schroeder.
confused.
I watch him every night. Like I watch Dennis Schroeder every game. And I love DS.
I early on in the year, Fred, I texted you all the time how much I love Dennis. Like Dennis is incredible. I love watching that kid
You got a
play.
man crush on him.
I do. I have
have
a
a high key man crush on him. But like I would take LaMelo over him. LaMelo just
Kyle Lowry or LaMelo Ball.
Lowry.
I'll take Lowry.
Thank you.
Dude, again, I have Steph, Dame, Trey, CP3, Kyrie, De'Aaron Fox, Kyle Lowry, and Ja and I wanted to throw this out there because literally I have in parentheses that Malcolm Brogdon and Shea are very, very debatable with me if I would take them over LaMelo or not.
I'd have to sit down and really soul search.
You know,
I
D'Angelo
think I
Russell's
would
not
take
playing
Shea over
terribly this
LaMelo,
year.
but then I'd slide LaMelo before Brogdon.
Hey, D'Angelo
But then
Russell's not playing
Brogdon does a
terribly
lot
this year.
too.
So it'd be difficult.
Hey,
Yeah, I
D-Russ-
think
D-Russ is
Fred,
hooping. Did
Fred.
somebody talk to me about that?
Fred, I heard what you said. I think if you're gonna debate anybody over LaMelo that's been in the league, it's D'Angelo Russell. That's where he's at right now.
No.
Oh my God.
D'Angelo Russell's averaging 20 and he's shooting.
I don't
pretty
care
good.
what he's averaging. I don't. That dude is on an awful team. Kyle Kuzma is averaging 20. If we want to talk about that, Kyle Kuzma looked like a really nice scorer when he was on a bad team. It's
Hey, well,
easy
Jordan
to
Clarkson's
look
averaging
good
18
on a bad
a
team.
really good
Okay,
team.
but you're acting like LaMelo is the reason the Hornets are so successful. He's only averaging 14 points a game.
He's a huge
Like-
part of it.
Dude, he does so much more than what hit the
They
box.
have two
score.
really elite, or not elite. They have two really good guards in Terry Rozier and Devontae Graham.
Devontae Graham's overrated, but Terry Rozier's tough.
You have
Devontae
Gordon
Dude,
Hayward,
you
who's an
literally said
all-star.
last podcast how inconsistent and such Devontae Graham is.
I'm talking
Who?
to Fred. Talking to
I
Fred.
wouldn't.
By the
I'd
way,
never
your
say
man
that.
Kimball Walker has
It was
7
me.
points and 6 assists on 2 of 11 shooting tonight.
I mean, he is lighting up the stat sheet against a really good
Okay,
team.
he's still better than
Everybody
LaMelo
goes
Ball.
to those nights. You want to go look at the nights where LaMelo Ball was
Yeah,
going
let's go
over
look at-
6.
yeah,
I'm just saying in a big
You want
game.
to go look at the nights where LaMelo Ball was going 1
game.
for 8 with like six
Yeah, I'll pull
turnovers.
up right now,
Big
bro.
Wasn't getting
game.
started. Was
Big
getting
game for
Let's
a
get it
player
drafted.
that is in year he's 30 in year 10 or 9.
Ooh, against Orlando, 9-2-4. Ooh, against Chicago,
9, 10, and 4.
7-1-2.
Hey,
Ooh,
at least he's got double
7-1-2.
digits somewhere.
2-4.
Dallas 4-7-5 in 25 minutes.
I mean, early on. I
Like,
mean,
if you want to sit here and say that
Yeesh.
Devontae Graham is inconsistent, which I'm not disagreeing with, but like there was
I
a
never
reason
said they
LaMelo
were.
Ball was not starting over him because LaMelo Ball was turning the ball over like it was his job.
Okay.
Like, I mean,
I'm sorry. I would have to agree. I love LaMelo, and I think he's a top 10 point guard. I don't think you can name 10 guys, point guards, that are,
Caleb just did.
I disagreed with all of them, or not all of them, but some of them.
And
I think a lot of NBA people are going to start hopping
the
on.
fact that you take him over Conley is unreal.
That's not unreal. What has Mike Conley done in his career?
What?
He's been a solid player. Don't get me wrong, but he's nothing. He's not like, oh my God, Mike Conley now. Like, I mean, you guys are acting like I'm saying he's better than like Kyrie or something. We're gonna get mad about Mike Conley.
Yes.
What are we doing? Is it
what he's done in Memphis and what he's doing now in Utah? Stop, dude.
Okay, I mean, he's cool, I guess.
You can't.
forgot Mike Conley was
older and he's
top
leading
15 point guard.
Huh?
I said I forgot Mike Conley was apparently a top 15 point guard.
He's a top 10 point guard.
Oh,
Arguably.
Not now.
nowhere near the top 10.
He's
You want
he's
to talk
You have
about
like 15
arguably top 20? He may be arguably top 20.
LaMelo Ball is arguably top 20.
Top 10.
bingo.
Conley
top 10.
is so good, bro. What are you talking about?
Nah, he's all right.
All right.
He's all right.
He arguably be an all-star this year.
Hold on.
No, Mike.
Mike Conley is
Stop
better
that.
than LaMelo Ball.
He's so much better than LaMelo Ball.
All right. You guys got anything to close on here? Or are we getting out of here?
Mike Conley averaging more points.
And why aren't we why can't Luka be a point guard?
I just didn't put him as point guard.
He is a point guard. He's
I
Wait, Sexton
define him as
Sexton or Ball?
two.
huh?
Sexton's not a
or
point
I mean,
guard.
recency
Sexton's-
bias makes everybody want to say Colin Sexton.
I mean, how do you
bias. If anybody's being recency bias, it's you because of LaMelo's hot streak right now.
Colin Sexton's gone on one hot streak in his career, and everybody's crazy about him now too.
I'm not.
Right or wrong.
I mean, I think people were admiring what he did, but I don't think people are sitting here going, "Oh my God, Colin Sexton!" Like you're
You
going,
guys
"Oh my
are.
God, LaMelo Ball."
I think LaMelo Ball is destined for greatness, and I'm sorry that I feel like he steps above what he's been projected. People hated on this man.
LaMelo Ball will not be at the end of all these rookies' career that just came in. He will not be the best rookie in this class.
That's gonna fire Troy up. I can feel it. The blood is boiling right now.
Who is?
Patrick Williams.
Get out of freaking town.
I could see Patrick Williams having a way more better career.
He's so good.
Patrick Williams could be a way better two-way player than LaMelo Ball would even dream of. James
All right,
White.
Fred, get us out of here. Get us out of here, Fred.
I'm gonna let Caleb speak his mind real quick.
No, that's
No, I got
awful.
my point across.
All right.
It's awful.
Thank y'all so
LaMelo
much.
Ball, a top 10 point guard is awful.
That's a terrible take. Terrible take.
Hey, you're the king of them, so you should know. Get us
My
out of here,
take's come
Fred.
true. Jaylen Brown, best player in the Celtics right now.
Okay.
Tampa Bay
Yeah,
Chiefs.
get us out of here, Fred. Get us out of here, Fred.
Get us out of here.
My terrible takes have all ended up being true. So
Get us out of here.
saying.
I wouldn't agree, but okay.
Get us out
I
of
mean,
here.
I would agree.
Get us out of here.
Go look at the tape. Y'all just mad because my takes come true. Y'all don't. Anyway, thank y'all so much for watching the X Factor Sports Talk. Don't be a star. Don't be a superstar. Change the game. God bless and peace out.
Peace.